gonna sit on your tail. Oh, what the fuck? Did I not adjust the camera before this? God damn it. I or the camera have not been adjusted consistently at all throughout these recordings. Welcome back. What is this, episode 5 of Afternoon Glory? 2 if we're going by Afternoon Glory's name. Glad to be back, wearing the old Fender guitar shirt. You know, what did Target used to sell? Fender merch. Pretty impressive. Always had a guitar on it. Never liked it. I'm a pretty plain Jane guy myself. Yeah, Ketta's obviously in the shot, and she's burned. You know, when amateurs start podcasts, they're like, especially with like buddies, the we should start a podcast shtick, and they're like, well, what is it going to be about? It's like, oh, we'll have a few beers and we'll just talk about like what we're talking about when we have a few beers. I did the same thing, just no friends, just my animals. Oh boy, I'm sticking to that one. I just glanced to see if my camera was recording, and thank God it was. Not that I had anything golden that was said. It's be a pain in the ass to jump right back in. I don't know if it was good or what. I guess we can just jump into that. What is this podcast even about? I'm editing, cutting out a lot of dead air. Sometimes you're like, how the fuck did he go from that thought to that? Mainly me. I've said this, me bitching. I told somebody asked me, what's the podcast about? And I kind of said a soapbox of things from my POV. That was said, a week ago? It makes my skin crawl. Yet here I am talking about it and trying to justify why I come back time after time. Be a little something if I had a guest, but that's not happening anytime soon. A lot of gotta quit that. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a here's the scenario. It's a hodgepodge of here's the scenario. What just gets under my skin? What stupid thing did I say in real life? But now I'm presenting as if I said it in a better way. I should be called a time traveling podcast. I always said stand-up comedy is like having your own time machine. So obviously if it didn't work, you go back, try it this way, and you get laughs. But you forget that you got to endure the embarrassment of it not working. You got to go back and hope it works the next time. So a lot of times it doesn't necessarily. But the true thing is if you're committed to it, you'll be taping a Netflix something in the near future. It's how easy comedy is. You say something Monday night, doesn't works Tuesday night, then you polish it Wednesday, Thursday. By Friday, Saturday, your first week, you're doing something. What's your ideal first date? Oh my God, just if I said that to a guest or a co-host, I would have felt like a fucking schmuck. But what is I'm talking to myself, that's fine. I guess I'm talking to whoever sees the clip. What's your ideal first date? Like, what do you want to know? What do you want to not know? What are your goals? Is it a kiss? Is a little more locker room talk that you hope to report back to Tweedledee and Tweedledum? Because honestly, I said, I'm a plain Jane. I'm pretty simple. I'm simple, yet I have slightest things just irritate the shit out of me. So maybe I say I'm simple. Maybe I'm simple on the outside, but inside it's a little more intricate. Anybody that's highly licensed and trained to diffuse me is still sweating it every time. It's not a regular routine Tuesday with me. You know, a lot of people talk shit about Chili's, all right? My friend's dad pretty much operates the best Chili's in said town. Haven't lived in many. I'm sure you could figure that one out. You can figure out who my friend is. What's the 7 degrees of separation? Anyways, not important. A lot of people shit on Chili's. I don't mind it. I usually get the same thing every time, the bacon quesadilla. Always feel like a piece of garbage after. Not because I just ate a Chili's bacon quesadilla, but it's just Chili's is a good menu to venture out. It's always a red flag when there's a lot of stuff happening on a menu. Chili's is pretty ballpark. It's a lot of it's bar food. That's fine. But I'm fine with Chili's. Applebee's, I might have to... Which are Chili's and Applebee's owned by the same parent company? I could always Google it. My laptop's dead, and I hate researching stuff on the phone, even though I'd cut it out and say, hey, I'd do the same with a laptop. I don't know. Maybe it's just the act of doing it. But are they, I don't know. Someone, if you're watching this, if this got to you, let me know in the comments. That's how I do my research. Just hope some internet stranger, and you could totally be fucking trolling me. No, they're actually owned by rival companies, and that's why they're so similar. It'd be like, oh my god, that makes absolute complete sense. And you're just trying to sweep me from under the rug. So at the next soiree, my leading antidote is, Chili's and Applebee's are operated by rival companies. Why are you talking about shit food to us, Josh? Haven't been to Applebee's recently. Years ago, my last few Applebee's experiences haven't been pretty. Going into the rest of the night after I ate there and the next day. But first date scenario, that's always, maybe that's the key to first date. Whether it went well or not, if it didn't, you might have a beacon of a hope for a second chance. Get out the old text message or Tinder messages in case you didn't exchange numbers, and then now you have a reason to talk to he or she. So that's an option. Something to keep in your playbook. It's almost a Hail Mary on the first play, which I'm told you don't do that. I haven't played much Madden. I don't have very many hours logged in. I always went for the Hail Mary. I like a fast-paced game. I just pray every play whenever I'm watching football, 13, 15 seconds at a time. I feel like that's longer than what an average play pans out to be. Well, if you're judging somebody that took you to Chili's or Applebee's on the first date, get the fuck over yourself. You guys are strangers. If something, God forbid, something bad happens to either of you, if you have some cruel intentions involved in this date and you're going to be the next Netflix true crime docuseries, you got to take it to a place that has good, loyal patrons, Chili's and Applebee's. I wouldn't do it, but I see it. If someone did say I took them, or, oh my God, he took me to Chili's or Applebee's, I'd be like, yeah. I mean, you guys are strangers. Or if somebody said that, I took them to Applebee's. Like, safe bet. I don't know. Anyways, so that's just the location. Are you picking up or meeting? I feel like picking up is only acceptable high school-ish, as long as they can drive. If you've known each other, like if maybe something was bubbling up and you were coworkers. But if you're meeting off the internet, I'll meet you there. Make the police patrol the streets a little harder. 2 people walking out of there after that miserable date, both driving drunk illegally. I'm told police officers don't have a quota. I don't know if I believe that or not. Sometimes they do just pull people. There's some asshole pulled over 3 cop cars around him on my street. The lights are, for like an hour straight, the lights are just flashing. I watched the tail end of the investigation, I guess, the stop. I saw the passenger shake hands with a police officer. I don't know if they talked themselves out of a DUI. I don't know. That was kind of unnecessary. An hour trying to watch TV. Told the police officers don't have a quota. That's what I was told in high school. So let's see. I was told by somebody whose dad was a sheriff. They told me that the quota doesn't exist. So because it was a daughter of a sheriff, ever since then I've took it as a reliable source. Then again, we're high school. People lie. Vulnerable time. But anyways, so you meet up at the date if you're strangers on the internet for sure. So I guess this goes back to my thing where, oh my God, he took me to Chile. Yeah, I guess if you were coworkers, you knew each other, you picked her up, and you end up at fucking Applebee's. Yeah, I guess that's bad. Strangers, completely good. And then, what do you want to know? What do you truly... people say I just want to get to know them. That's amazing how attraction just fools you and says... There's something in your brain tricking you saying, I'd like to know more. I see so many hot people, and I want to know nothing about them. It's just gross. Like I know we're going to have different political views, more different humanitarian views, how we see the world. I just know it. I don't want to do it. Because the beauty was so persistent, and you're like, oh, wow, I just want to get to know this person. And it's like opening Pandora's box. Like, wow. This attraction's really. There are some people that are very, very hot. There are people that are insanely hot, and they say a red flag to you, and you're just like, oh my god, you're fucking hot. There is that level of hot. They're like almost like just objectively across the board super fucking hot, I guess. And I'm like, meh. I'm one of those guys. I hate it, but my reasoning is just that they're so hot. I mean, it doesn't matter now. Nova and I are getting married one day. Subscribe to the Patreon so I can get a ring. I don't have a Patreon. Just spread my name so I can get monetized. Doesn't matter now, obviously. Girls, so hot. It's like, yeah, I don't fucking have a chance. So why am I gonna entertain that? And then you just build up the shell. You're like, fuck them. Stop telling them what they want to hear. Or even worse, a girl that knows she's hot. That's fucking. I can get messy. I can form a pretty good soapbox about that pretty quickly. But that's not important. What's important is you're on a date. This attraction, so appealing to you. You're like, I want to get to know you. What questions do you? I think it's been a long time since I've been on a first date. I think I would definitely want to know comedy. But kind of if she even likes stand up. And if she does, what comedians and then what movies. Probably go from there. Then food. I don't know why, I love talking to people about fast food. Sports probably wouldn't go there. Especially if she started the conversation, my fantasy, blah, blah. That's almost a red flag. But I feel like I know enough to get by and be vague. But at the end of the day, I was raised by a single mother, and I didn't get into a heavily involved interest in sports until I was 16, 17. So she knows way more than I'm not. I'm not going to flirt with that line. Comedy, food, fast food, cats, life-changing for me. Although I want to have it happen because I haven't been on a first date, nor do I intend to go on one, and I would have never gotten a cat if it weren't for Nova. God forbid we break up. Moving on. And this is hypothetical. I don't even have to say that. So yeah. Maybe I think that's enough. If she has, I mean, if she's like no, then it's gonna be a long 2 for $20. I'll tell you that. I think going somewhere that doesn't have alcoholic beverages, I think that's a mood. But I mean, sometimes it's nice where you're fucking staring at each other, and one of you guys need to order a second or third drink, get this going. And then I guess there's the bio questions. Where'd you go to school? Where are you from? What do you want to do? I guess, yeah, comedy for sure. Cats, the bio questions. It's almost like an interview. Where do you see yourself 5 years? What would you like to do? Do you have any mental illnesses I should be aware of? So whenever I catch you red-handed, it speeds up a lot less tears. Like I said, plain Jane. First dates were horrible. One time I was on a date and a guy I wasn't a server at the time. It was IHOP, not where I work, but where I was. She was the only server, and looking back on this, I feel extremely bad for her. There was like 10 tables in there. God forbid a fucking school bus pulls up. Could have been a rec league, but God forbid a school bus pulls up, or 3 minivans after a fucking recreational basketball game. I don't know. I'm on a date with this gal, and the service isn't good because there's only one server for like 10 tables. I mean, it's not like we didn't let that ruin our time. But to make matters worse for this poor gal, the server, not the gal I was on a date with, somebody just drove right into IHOP. They didn't bust. It wasn't like something you'd see. There's fucking car alarms going nuts, and I hate it. Didn't bust through the wall, but it shook the wall. I think it broke some glass, but the window didn't like shatter. Maybe this is just my mind, but I just feel like the girl just waved her hands and was like, "What the fuck?" So then she had to only witness, as far as employees speaking. So everyone's getting their food not on time. You probably don't hear the car alarm. It's driving me nuts. Nova and I were doing, speaking of dates, we were at Chicago, this thing, Restaurant Week, where some of these like, my neighbor that I can see through his window, he can see through mine. I think we just had a moment, except I had a microphone and there was ring lights you could see. We were like, why hasn't this person shut up this fucking car alarm? Nova and I, Restaurant Week, yeah, we're on a date. We go to this one. Got bad, good service at the very beginning, and then we're obviously done, and we're just sitting there for 45 minutes trying to get the check. But maybe it's just because I was annoyed because we're sitting there for 45 minutes. But it's somebody has a phone alarm going off, and it's the annoying one that iPhone has. It was just loud enough where you could just, it blended right into the noise of the restaurant. It was driving me nuts. Yeah, we almost just decided to walk out. Like, I was seriously considering it. I don't know. The restaurant, I don't know if this is just a myth that the servers pay for it. The one I work at, we don't. I would feel bad if that guy had to pay for our cheap meal because of restaurant week. It wasn't that cheap. We still spent some money. Plain Jane. What else can I? This is the like, I can talk all day and rant, but it's the transitioning that's not ideal for me. Really gotta jab at the old whatever. I went to the Chicago rat hole. I didn't know that existed. It was the beauty of it. It made the news last week. At the time of this recording, it's gonna be ancient history. By the time it comes out, sorry. At the time of the recording, made some news last week. Somebody tried filling it in, and I go. My friend messages me. Go to the Chicago rat hole. I look it up. It's only like 2 miles away from my house. I was on my way to work though. But I literally went like within like 7 hours of the message. And I was like, I'm here. And he's like, oh, you really? And I don't think he knows it's 2.5 miles away from my house. So it looked pretty cool on if it was any further or just a crazy bus ride, I was able to make it happen on a route home. But if it was like, oh, do this, that, and the other, then I probably would have never done it. Yeah, it was pretty fucking stupid. I started vaping again. That's not ideal. I feel like a juvenile just saying that. And I think the coils burn. It's disposable though, so it's like once it starts tasting like shit, you just fucking throw it away. This little girl's just staring into my apartment, probably because I have a microphone. She probably thinks she's probably at an age where she doesn't know what the fuck a podcast is, nor should she. Such a saturated market. Okay, she's not even looking at me anymore. Yeah, maybe she thought I was doing sit-down karaoke with some lights. I guess my gripe of the week is probably herpes. If you have it, don't fucking talk to me. No, I have herpes. Not genital, mouth, oral. If I had 3 wishes, one of them would be to never get another cold sore in my life, and the other 2 would be to fuck that baby. No, that's a Daniel Tosh joke. I know it sounds weird because I was just talking about a fucking neighbor looking at me through the window, and I chose my words carefully with that one. No, if I had one wish, it'd be to never have a cold. Like literally, granted, there's Valtrax, which helps immensely. I haven't had a good supply of Valtrax until the last year. I don't have a primary doctor to prescribe it to me. I gotta go through Teladoc. That's $50 just right there. I'm on the phone with them telling them that last year I got prescribed 28 pills, and anytime I felt a blister forming, it was going to be a cold sore. Oh, we got both the cats. They're probably going to start wrestling any second. I do love watching them wrestle, and I moved you can't see it, there's a coffee table right here. I moved the coffee table out of the way, and I just watched them like how Leo DiCaprio was in Django Unchained, watching grown men who aren't even free wrestle and beat the shit out of each other. It's worth pouring a drink and just clearing the rest of my evening watching these cats wrestle. Get some joy out of it. No, I don't do that. It actually breaks my heart when they wrestle. I know they're just playing though. They say as a cat owner, you'll know if they're not playing. They're actually being really cute. I hope that a little bit of that's on camera. I can't tell because it's a little far away. What was I talking about? Cold sores. I finally got like a decent amount. The 2 other Teladocs before that was only like 5 or 6 pills. Because you're going through Teladoc, no refills. I got denied Medicaid. It was already going to be a challenge to find a primary physician with Medicaid. Now it doesn't look like there's any light at the end of the tunnel for that. That's fine, whatever. But I finally got a prescription for like 28. And usually you take 2 right when you feel a blister forming, and then you take 12 hours from there, and I usually get about, if I feel one coming on, I usually get through about 4, and I'm like, okay, it's not forming. And the cold sore, the herpes, in layman terms. I'm like getting this refill. I'm telling him like, yeah, I got a prescription of 28 last time. I'd like to do that again, and it got me through the year. And he's like saying, well, he thinks that I'm just taking all 30 12 hours apart. I was like, no, you fucking Einstein. He's apparently a doctor on the other end. It's like, man, like, I usually only take like 3 or 4 after that. It usually lasts about a year. He was just so confused. I felt bad for, his actual patients. Cold sores, gripe of the week, fucking disgusting. Just great. And thankfully, even if I didn't have Valtrax or Teladoc only gave me a small prescription, I was like, okay, I got to stop calling them and paying $50. This is insanity. Thank God COVID happened, and it's not too out of the question to wear masks. I think back in my days at the Broadmoor Hotel as a valet and a cold sore. And I've called off many times because of a cold sore. You can't, it's just there though, and it's scabbing up. You can't just keep calling off without a fucking doctor's note. Which I didn't even have a physician when I had real insurance. So I have flaws, guys. So no cold sores would be my one wish. If I had 2 more, some income. Doesn't even have to be like a billionaire. Just nice 6 figures a year. I can just do this all day. Grind open mics. That'd be nice. Hopefully, I get some subscribers, listeners, viewers, and I can do this all day and then grind the open mics later. This is going to be old news by the time it comes out, but the Joe Coy hosting the Golden Globes, I still haven't seen very much. I haven't cared to watch anything about that. I did find it interesting he had a 10-day notice, and granted the Golden Globes isn't the Oscars, but it is the same shit if you think about it. He had fucking 10-day notice. I feel like I've seen an interview of Chris Rock saying he prepped that monologue months and months and got it like and rehearsed it on his own for months. So I guess cut him some slack. That's all I really have to say about that. If Chris Rock's preparing months and months, I don't know. Seems like the right thing to do. Sorry about that. My friend Aaron called and we haven't really talked on the phone in a long time. So I was definitely going to answer. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Maybe Joe Coy and the Golden Globes, Chris Rock and his monologue preparation. But yeah, I didn't really have too much to say after that. I still have AirPods in from the phone call. I guess I could wrap it. What is this going to be, like a 15-minute episode maybe, 20-minute? I don't know. Unless if I could think of something to tangent off of, but that implies me thinking for a second, and I'll cut that in post, and then it'll just be me talking about why the fuck Chicago comedians are better than Colorado. No, I'm kidding. I really put this off anyways, setting up. I had everything set up for like an hour. I had everything set up to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I still blew it off. So I think I'm just going to end it there. Definitely see you guys in episode 6. Yeah. I'm an amateur podcast. I don't need to end this on a good note. See you guys.